PowerPoint all about me.
Okay. Ryan, you might have to help me because
It's on.
I'm familiar with this. Yeah, I got that. So I guess I call to the order.
To order.
Call the meeting to an order. Has everyone got a chance to look at the minutes from March?
I have, yeah.
Can I get a motion to approve?
I'll motion to approve March minutes.
Second.
Okay. Motion, or what's the next?
All in favor, say aye.
All in favor, say aye.
I'll disguise my
Aye.
voice.
All right,
Aye.
motion passes.
Okay, motion carries. Thanks.
New
Good job.
business, so I'll kind of change it around. We do have our new pool manager, David, here. I don't know if you want to kind of fully introduce yourself, kind of maybe give your, a little backstory on your career, I guess.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm David Voller. We just moved here. This is 3 years ago now. Kind of bounced around the state a little bit. I'm from Cambridge, Minnesota. Taught in Albert Lea, Rush City, Detroit Lakes, and that's when we came back to here. So a couple stints here. Yeah, gonna work or be the pool manager this summer. I have a lot of pool experience. I swam in high school and college. I lifeguarded, taught swim lessons at a handful, like at Cambridge and Forest Lake and Rush City pools. I also coached at with a couple of club swim teams and at Albert Lea and Detroit Lakes. I was head coach there, so a lot of pool background and experience. So
You're hired.
This
He was already hired, but okay.
Dang it. I second
I saw
that.
this come up. It's like, perfect. So
Good.
it's about the one job I haven't truly held in the pool so far.
Good, well, welcome.
Does anyone have any questions or anything for?
What are some of your ideas for improving some of our pool attendance?
Good question. I think it'd be fun if we could bring dogs to the pool.
This is a joke, right?
No, I don't.
I got in trouble for swearing last time, but I'm gonna.
No, I think we're happy to have you on board, and I think it'll be a good change of pace, and we're excited for the future
I
of the
will
pool.
say on behalf of my staff and park board, we're excited to have, and for lack of better terms, a full adult. And you fit all the criteria as far as you're a teacher. You know and understand how kids work for the most part. And pretty much the kids you teach are the kids that are going to be working at the pool. We're very excited. Obviously, this year we want you just to kind of dip your toes in the water and let's see how it goes.
Sure.
If you have concerns, we're here for you. If we need to change things, we'll work on changing things. I want it to work for you and kind of see what you think is best. We kind of, since I started, we kind of been just kind of running like a cowboy for, it's been up, down, ugly, good, bad, horrible. But I'm excited to see someone that's going to be present, someone that the kids can reach out to. You do have, like I said before, we have a couple senior staff members that are going to be a great asset to helping you. So if you ever have questions, concerns, ideas, don't be afraid to contact me. Really just wanted you to come and meet the board, and I guess if you have any questions or concerns, I guess now would be a good time to talk about it. Otherwise, I just, like I said, I wanted you to meet the board, and that's about it.
So, I'm Greg Kubal. I own the Hardware Hank, so.
Oh, adios.
Been on the park board.
Around and introduce
Yep.
yourself.
So, and I've been on the park board for 33 plus years. So I've seen all the way back to the old one, and so it's, we're, I think, going again in the right step. Not that we've ever gone backwards with the pool. It's just challenging. That's the biggest thing. So it's not a negative thing, but I think you bring a lot to the table that can really enhance things that we don't see, and that we always relied on our managers to see that, they're just young students or young kids. I don't want to call them kids, but young adults, and maybe not even the adult age yet. But So it sounds like you got some great vision behind you that you can bring forward. We just got to rely on Mother Nature to give us those days to keep the pool open. So,
We're getting there.
yep. So, but welcome aboard. So,
I'm John Knudsen. I'm right across paths with my son Harvey in school. I've been on park board for about 4 years now, and excited to see what I see because we've got a great background and we're set up for success.
I'm not going to speak on behalf of Chuck, but Chuck Coleman is our chairperson for Park Board. He was unable to be here tonight. I don't know, how long has he been on board?
he's been on board, off board, and back on board.
Okay, well, how long
but
has he been on Park Board?
Probably 20 years plus.
Okay, and then
I would
he was
say.
a city council member.
Yep. And then he came back on the park board here probably 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, it had been just before I started.
Yep. So, so he's seen a lot of stuff too.
Yep.
Throughout, and it's not just pool, but, the park, the playground modulars, the everything.
Yeah.
So, and he's a great local person. So if he can remember like I can't. So, but
We
yeah.
can skip over Ryan. I don't really have anything to talk to him about anymore.
It wasn't my idea. It was Greg's.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
I'm Ryan Christensen. I'm on city council, and I've been on Park Board City Council for 4 years. I teach at the middle school.
Johan Marsland, as I mentioned, I run the Trained Child Center. I also pastor a church here in Casson and in Manorville. I cut my teeth on pool maintenance when I was 19, 20, 21 years old down in Key West, Florida. Ran a hotel business down there. The hotel pool, that is, not the whole business. But so been involved in it through property management and that sort of thing. My first experience of the pool here in Casson was in 1997. My brother owned a house here, and I used it for land getting back from India. So on and off. I've been a resident of Casson since 2010, when my wife and I moved here to start the works we're currently running. So love this town, love its pool. I'm looking forward to seeing what you're going to do with it to kind of make it more of a community thing.
Yeah.
Oh, and I've been on park board for 2 months.
Oh, me
Yeah,
also?
you got to introduce yourself.
Okay. Well, I am Ashley Avila. I'm an administrative assistant here, park board secretary, and really bad at training. I do apologize for that day you came in. It was a mess that day. But this will be my 3rd season working here with the Aquatic Center and the park board. I'm here for anything you need on the admin side, any ordering of items, paperwork, anything that you need. You just give me a call, send me an email. I'll be able to help you out.
We've definitely gone up and down with ordering, and bless Ashley's heart for learning my rec as quickly as she did and working with my rec.
And still learning.
Even with the ordering side, so, like Pepsi, we have to order X amount of weeks in advance. We can't order, and I will help you with that because I've been the one kind of making that order. We used to, before I started, or I guess before I was in this position, we did Reinhardt, and then we shifted away from it because we weren't really necessarily ordering enough product. It was cheaper to go through these other avenues. But if you see something that you want to change or you have questions on, don't hesitate.
Yeah.
I'm an open book. I'll take any ideas.
Sounds good.
One new thing we are doing is we are not doing slushies.
Yeah.
That has been a nightmare and a headache for the maintenance side of it. It's not saying that we can't go back to it, but we're going to find some alternatives to replace it, at least for now.
Sure.
But other than that, I don't want to seem too eager, but I'm very excited you're here.
Yeah.
So
Me too.
I don't want to push you
Don't-
out of here yet.
No, you're good. You're good.
No, but I really do appreciate you reaching out, and I think the board would say the same.
Yep.
And you're going to have a great staff. We're very fortunate. I've been in communication. When I started, I had no idea what I was doing. You know, Ronnie, who retired, he left me wonderful detailed notes on things to do and how to approach things. A lot of them didn't work anymore, so I kind of figured things out on my own, but we are fortunate enough to have a full staff where there are other facilities that are looking for staff. We are fortunate enough to, I don't know if Ronnie's the one that started it, regardless, we hire in December. And that is such a weight off my shoulders knowing that we have a staff months before we even think about opening.
Sure.
So, other than that, we welcome you to the city and I hope you enjoy it. I don't want it to be a stressful job, so if you ever have any issues, please do not hesitate, reach out.
I won't. Luckily, like in my position, I shouldn't mention I teach health and PE here, in case you didn't hear, or I didn't say it. So I get every sophomore in the school. So I've rolled that sophomore up. I've already had a class. So
Yeah.
when I look through this, like, oh, good kid, good kid, good. So far the staff roster looks
Problem kid.
There's been a few like, yeah, you're going to be my manager. I'm like, oh, cool. Do you want to do it the first day? What? Firing you. You wouldn't.
Well, and that's good to have in this case, a teacher-student relationship. And so they're going to work with somebody that they know
Yes.
versus being bossed around by somebody they either know or don't care about. And all of a sudden it's like, well, why do I got to do what you're telling me to do as another student's telling a student type thing. So I think having the adult figure there is, something that we've probably never really thoroughly looked at in the past or had the opportunity to get, but you're here, you're not leaving, so
Yeah.
welcome aboard.
Yeah, thanks.
Yep. And I guess, realistically on the more negative side of it, if you have issues, don't hesitate to make a decision.
Sure.
I back you, and I back your decisions. You know them more than I do.
Yeah.
I meet them for 5 minutes, 10 minutes max.
Yeah.
So you see them all year long, or you will be seeing them all year long, so, yeah.
Right now, I'm not concerned.
Okay.
There's a lot of good kids.
Good deal.
Good.
I guess other than that, that's all I got for you. I don't want you to have to sit here and wait through the whole meeting, so I wanted to get you in and out.
All right. Cool.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Just briefly, didn't we say we'd invite him in to just kind of throw some ideas out about how to promote the pool? Wasn't that in our last
That
meeting?
was part of it, but I don't think I want to put that on him yet.
Okay. Okay, I just want to make sure. We're
If
going to
if
do a little
you're-
brainstorming session.
We,
Just throw out
if
whatever we
you're
thought.
up for it, absolutely.
I don't want to tell you I have great ideas, but
I don't know if I want to implement anything yet. I
Oh,
want
no.
to see how the season goes.
Yeah. I don't think we were talking about implementing.
Yes.
It's just when we were talking about, you brought it up at the last meeting, hey, what are some ideas we can
Yep.
do? And we thought, well, let's bring in the pool manager and see what he thinks. And maybe we can have a little
I'll just give you a few ideas that we talked about. It's,
I'm ready. Unless you want to kick me out.
No, I
No.
don't. I mean, not yet, anyway. So, last year was a different year. Like I said, we've struggled with having a pool manager present. We look at even over the fair, we struggled to get numbers. And we had talked about sponsor night. So McNelia Steel sponsors their employees during the fair. They pay for them to go to the demolition derbies. They give them, or whatever.
vouchers or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And they give them tickets for the rides and things. So we had talked about some sort of sponsor night. There was ideas, unfortunately, about dog night, which that is ixnayed anyway.
But that was the last day of the pool, though.
Yeah.
Or like having some food trucks in the
Food
parking lot,
trucks.
doing like a family night where you have food trucks so families can go have dinner and get back in and out of the pool without any big issues. And
So I guess if you have any ideas on the top of your head, that would be great to hear. Otherwise, throughout the year, if you think of things, that would be even better.
Sure. Do you guys do rentals, like birthday party rentals?
Yep, we do that. Yep, on the weekends.
are we going back to singular or are we?
It is back to singular. Yep.
Yeah.
What does that mean, singular?
So we used to have it where just one party could rent out the entire pool for a certain amount of time. last year we switched it to, there could be 2 parties happening at once. People don't really want to share, I don't think.
Yeah.
No one
Which
went
is,
for that option
Yeah.
last year.
I don't know. I'm quite surprised that no one wants to share the cost of it.
They
And
want the
then-
space.
But they want the entire pool
Yeah.
to themselves.
Yeah. When their 80-year-old grandma and grandpa come, they don't want to have to deal with the other kids from other
Yes.
groups, and they want, their family time.
So in general, like how is attendance? Is there, like, are you trying to get more numbers because attendance is low? Yeah.
Our attendance has varied, obviously, throughout the years. Our biggest contributors are like JLH, like the daycare groups. We have gotten a lot of groups out of Rochester that come in and utilize the pool. Obviously, with the new pool opening in Rochester, we've kind of taken a hit to an extent, but I think we still draw in. There was quite a few buses from Rochester last year. I think just because of the fact that it's a little bit smaller, it sounded like the new Rochester pool was packed all the time.
Sure.
But on some of those off days that we don't have those groups coming in, we're not at capacity.
Okay.
So I guess even, and it doesn't have to be during the day, even just trying to get citizens or community members to utilize the pool during the evening hours.
How do you, what's the, like, if I bring my family, what's like the pay? Is it you just
Like the
pay
cost?
for the day, pay for, oh yeah.
I would have to-
$7.
It's per person, right?
For the day, right?
Must be for this session.
Yeah, for the session, yeah.
'Cause it does close at a certain point,
Yes.
doesn't it? Yeah.
So I guess a thought, like, could you, because I think we did this when we worked at Rush City, they did like twilight hours, so it was like the last 2 hours was at a discounted rate. Just to help get like kids in after work, but I'm not spending $28 for my family for 2 hours, but if it was 16, maybe we'd get a little bit more in. You know, golf courses do that. too.
Yep.
So maybe I don't, like I said, I don't know exactly how it's set up either, but that could maybe be a
Option
1
there.
to 3 hour option of just a discounted price to help pull people in the evening.
What is our event rate?
300.
And that's, is it 2 hours?
2 hours and up to 25 entrants. So any additional entrants after that would be $3 per person.
Sometimes you'll have 10 people and sometimes you'll have more. Just depends on the party.
Another quick thought I had, do we get a lot of tournaments in Casson, like basketball, soccer, et cetera?
During the summer, there is softball, baseball tournaments. I wouldn't say it's a lot.
Yeah.
Golf tournaments are here and there.
Sure.
What are your thoughts on that?
So like if there was like a youth sports tournament, throw a discounted rate at them, try to pull them in when they're done, a little team bonding or whatever.
Sure.
to Cool off too, like just play baseball from 10 to 2, go to the pool, 3 to 6, whatever, I don't know. So.
And that'd be something that, you'd be able to pick up off the school calendar.
Yeah,
So I think some of the, our low attendance they're talking about is during the fair.
Yeah.
Everybody's at the fair, so there's
Yeah.
nobody at the pool.
yeah, which is. that's gonna
And we don't want to leave their kids at the pool and somebody else goes, so we're not, want to be babysitters, but in this sort of case, if we were to open up, if somebody wants to donate or buy that Saturday night or Saturday all day at the pool, like Vigdalia's, Cam Telcom, Hy-Vee, something, that way their students or their faculty, their staff, their kids, whoever wants to go there, it's on Cam Telcom, and they'll just say, here's your free pool pass. So
Yeah.
that case, but we don't have a dollar figure set, we have nothing in mind, but
Yeah.
that'd be a way to say, okay, here's a session like McNeely's to pay for the fair.
Yeah.
Let's have Cam Telcom, just to put up a name,
Yeah.
say, well, you can go to the pool.
Yeah.
That type of thing. And also during Festival in the Park, all the activities that are going on at the park. Is that a downtime for the pool? Does somebody want to rent that 1 day or 2 days or half a day or whatever just to try to say, at least we can get some income coming off it if we can find somebody that's gonna. So that type of, slow time or downtime or, evenings, I guess I'm not enough to where the pool attendants and who's all where and where it all breaks down, but I'm sure they've got some notes to. But, anything at this point, we're looking for brainstorms and we're coming up with, you've been around the pool, so you've probably seen a lot of stuff.
I've really done events at any
So-
schools.
But this is,
Rush City did one big, they did like a fundraiser on a Saturday, and they had like the dunk tank there and stuff. Who I work for is still running that pool, so I could reach out to him and see exactly what they do.
Okay.
But yeah, I remember they did this big fundraiser. I don't remember the details because it's been, like 10 years now.
Sure.
But I remember they had different kind of like events and stuff. I think probably some raffles set up around too. They called it like the Big Splash Day, and then they got us pizzas that day.
I just kind of thinking, we have festival in the park. I don't know, I guess I'm not sure on the date this year, but it's like the second week of August, usually, first or second
something
week.
like that.
That would be a great contribute to Festival in the Park, to do something like that. Like you said, like the dunk tank. We do host a belly flop contest, but after that, it's pretty much, it's done. I mean, that's it, and whatever. It would be nice to kind of make it a full day, event, if possible.
Mhm. Yeah, that was about the only thing I really remember ever that we did that was kind of like a big day.
Okay. Well, it's just something, because we really don't know.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, I know
how do
everywhere
we?
I've been, pools are tough, and I know pools lose money more than they make money, and,
It's the maintenance, the paying of the lifeguards and the staff that, they don't realize how much it costs to keep a pool open in a day. It's not like, oh, it's free. No, it's not.
no.
Nothing's free. Nothing comes at no cost, so.
It is far from free.
Yes.
Right.
Well, as you're talking, I have a couple ideas from the margins, just, take them or leave them, and just throw things at the wall and see what sticks. We could talk about partnering with our workout centers to do some pool aerobic type things on the margins of our hours.
Yep, so there was some talk about that, like availability in the morning, because we have morning swim open to the public. And there, I don't know if it was ever started, but there's some like water aerobic weights. I don't know what, I have no idea about that stuff. But that's definitely an option. Tim and I had brought that up. And trying to, at one point, we were going to try to partner with like community ed with that. Just hasn't gotten anywhere yet.
Kratos, and we've got 507, maybe see if one of those.
The biggest thing is finding someone to instruct those classes.
Right, that's why I talked to the ones who are already doing classes. They
Yeah.
may be interested in doing something at the pool, and if we, get them a rate or whatever. Also, our elder care facilities, they really benefit from the motility that you can get from water exercises. We could talk to them about some of our margin hours. The care facility is just around the corner there from the pool, so not everybody there would be eligible for that, but that'd be one. And then the other idea I jotted down as you were talking, I love these sessions because I just think of things and then throw them out there. Perhaps bringing in something that would be exercise activity to make you want to get in the pool, like a bounce house or something, like a weekend fun day. I know we do some casting in the park, but for a small investment, you could bring in a lot more people if they had the availability for that. We might even be able to rent it from somebody who rents those kind of things,
I know one.
Dock Center does aerobics. I don't know what their program's like at all, but they have it over there.
Do we do a water Zumba class at all?
Oh, and the one other idea I had, a flyer for churches. Have a Sunday after church special. Come on in. We'll have a special rate for Ecumenical Day. Whatever you want to do. That'd be a way to promote the pool to a crowd that wouldn't normally come.
Baptize them, get the pool. Blessings
Yeah.
at the pool.
I've actually been to a baptism service that used a water slide. The pastor and the person would go down the water slide all the way down. You're like, in the name of the Father and of the Son and the.
And then, holy smokes!
They were
At the end.
Pentecostals, you know.
So it's just, you know, we're so open, there's probably so many things, but,
Yeah.
you know, but we can't think of them. If there isn't that many things, well, we're trying to think of more. It's just, you know, and listen to the kids that are doing the, you know, your employees that are at the pool and say, hey, what do you guys think would be fun here? Give me some ideas.
Sure.
You know, get them involved too, so.
Some low-cost ideas that can bring in some extra revenue.
Yeah.
Bring in the numbers, get families to come, and not make it not just a babysitting center, because that's part of what it becomes in the summer. We all know it's been that way since I was a kid in town. Parents just tell you to ride your bike over,
Yeah.
but we want to make sure behaviors are at the right point where they need to be at too.
For sure.
We got it.
People that don't usually go to the pool or don't think of the pool, getting them thinking of the pool, you know, that sort of thing. Or the off times when, you know, we have more staff than we're making money,
Yeah.
you know, weekends or whatever it is. That, you know, what can we do to get a few more people just to make it work?
And you will have parents up in arms on Facebook if you close the pool for certain things and not certain things. So just plan that. You're damned if you do, damned if you don't. But
Yeah.
just be aware that you shut it down when the sun's out because there's nobody there. One parent that wanted to go will make a comment.
Of
Just
course.
ignore it.
Yeah.
Take a peek at last summer's Spotted in Caston, and you'll get a flavor for what it's
Oh,
like.
yeah.
I have I will stand by what you decide to do, no matter what.
Appreciate that.
Well, I think we got it.
So the dog thing is,
Except for that.
just
I know that was not his
getting
idea.
clarity.
You'll never know.
I think we do have a few actually good ideas. I think realistically, I guess what we expect out of you this year is let's get you there, let's see what you think, let's see what we can do better. And if you do have ideas, I guess on my part, I can reach out to Dodge Center if they do, a water aerobics or Zumba, see what that entails, see if maybe that individual, what their schedule is, see if they can't come to Casson and whatever. The outside fun day, that could be something where we could bring in food trucks and, the rental of a bounce house would probably be next to nothing if we're bringing these food trucks with all the patrons coming in. Definitely, there are some good ideas. Let's see how this year goes, and let's try, if we can start implementing some of these, let's do it.
Yep.
You
Just
know?
get a feel for this year, and then next year we'll have a better idea.
Yeah.
So,
Like I said in my interview, I met with you about the job, but I'm not always great at like, hey, here's all these great ideas, but when I'm in it, I'm not afraid to ask questions, and then when I actually get to see what's happening, that's when I'll get
right, and that's where,
Yeah.
this is
A lot
the,
better at that.
You're better hands-on,
Yeah.
figure it out as you go,
Yeah.
ask questions as
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
come.
I'm not afraid to ask questions here.
And I appreciate that because I don't want you to go into it feeling you're alone.
Yeah.
I don't want you to think that we don't have your back or anything like that. We're here, we'll stand by you, we'll help you with anything you need.
I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
I think a lot of this vision is not necessarily just for this year. We're already looking to next year.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. So as you're learning, it's like, oh, we should have done this. Well, put that on next year's agenda
Yeah.
that we can work on. So it's nothing that, we're talking about is say, this is this year's stuff.
For sure.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's if this is your learning stage,
Yeah.
and we're going to grow with this, hopefully.
Yeah, because right now I don't know what I don't know.
Right.
So
Right.
once I know things.
Right now, you know everything until you get there.
Yeah,
Yep.
You're gonna figure it out real
We
quick.
will. Then I'll have better answers and stuff.
My staff is up at the pool daily.
Okay.
So don't be afraid to reach out if you have any questions.
Yeah, will do.
Anyone else got any questions?
We didn't scare you away, did we? Okay, good.
Well, he seems pretty relaxed.
I think you're up for the challenge, knowing it's like, the kids, the pool, you've been around it. Let's just get there and go from there.
Yeah.
Yep, I think you'll be fine.
Thanks, I think so.
Well, I guess if that's it.
You can stay or you can go. I mean,
He's got
from the
papers.
meeting, that is,
Yeah,
yeah.
as fun as it sounds, I think I might go home bedtime, which maybe is less fun.
Well, good to meet you.
I'll trade with you.
Yeah, if it goes well. If it doesn't, maybe I'll come back.
Thank you, David.
Thanks, David.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yep, you too, thanks for coming in, so.
Yeah, have a good one, guys.
You too.
Thanks.
Okay, next is Festival in the Park staffing. Ryan, this is kind of more on you.
Yeah, I reached out to the council, not at our last meeting, before that council meeting, and I think we were all in agreement that we would like the festival board or festival committee to pick the person they want to do the cleaning, and we would up our donation from the city end to cover that cost, so that they pick that person and they're not an employee of the city for the weekend. We don't have to deal with paid family medical leave. We don't have to deal with all the other things that come with hiring someone short term, and then opening it up to all the other applicants, if there are any other ones. Just allow the park board to, or the, not park board, excuse me, the festival board to determine who that person is. So we need the festival committee to kind of work with Tim and figure out how much that would cost.
And I don't know what Christine's role is on festival at this point anymore, but
She's still involved.
okay, so I could reach out to Christine and just say, hey, we're at the point where we don't have a problem with increasing the rate that you pay someone. We just want to essentially shift it over to you're paying them. We will increase our donation from the city side.
Yeah,
Is that what I'm gathering? What Tim kind of?
I think we were all in agreement on that, yeah.
Okay.
Easier for us to do that. than
I
hire.
mean, I agree. It's obviously, I was fortunate enough to, when I got into this position, that Christine had relatives or family to help assist in that. I know in the years past, Ronnie struggled to get staff for doing garbage. I guess, I don't know, I think it's fair to have festival take care of the staffing for the garbage.
Well, it's their festival.
Right.
We're donating our park. Do they rent the park that weekend?
I guess I don't know. I don't think they do.
So we're
and they use our equipment as far as like the
facilities,
equipment and
yep.
the facilities.
So there's no reason why they say, well, we gotta find the garbage, you know.
Right.
I'm a true believer, this is part of their festival, their events.
And they do everything else the way it is. You know what I mean? And why wouldn't staffing be part
That's
of
all part of what, I think the city's just been kind enough for Ronnie in the past, or Christine and her family. It's like, well, we need to find somebody, so okay, let's find them, now let the city pay them, or,
Right.
no, this is the festival, it's gotta find this stuff out, you know.
I think it would be a fairly easy.
So I agree. You know, we're gonna donate some funds to help them pay for somebody, so
Well,
I agree
guess,
myself.
Can I get a motion to have festival take over the paying of the employee or staffing for
the hiring and the paying.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'll make a motion to have the festival committee do the hiring and the paying
Yep.
for
And we'll
the
up our
cleanup.
donation.
Can we make a motion to tell an organization what to do?
I don't know. This is
I
new
don't.
for me.
I don't think we can do that. I don't think we can. I don't know if we can.
So,
Can we all
I know. I don't want to be.
Or can I say I make the motion to relieve ourselves from taking care of the hiring?
I think we wait to make a motion or move towards anything until after they talk to Tim.
I was all excited.
okay,
We might not even have to say that they hire, it's really
Yeah.
that they coordinate the trash.
Yeah, let's-
Whatever that happens
and
to
we will
be.
donate these funds for them
Why
to
am I sitting
coordinate.
in this chair? You should be over here.
That's why that one's empty next to you,
Okay.
you might get too close.
Here's the deal. I'll reach out to Christine, feel her, see what her thoughts are on it. I'd be surprised if she has an issue with it, and then coordinate with Tim
Yeah.
and see what kind of logistics.
See what Tim's gonna come up, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just not the city's burden to try to find and
Which makes
hire.
sense.
Yep, yep,
Okay. That's what I will do.
okay.
I guess next on the list is ball field lighting. So I was informed by JJ and Christian Unger that they will be removing the lights from the JV field, the JV football field. I don't know if any of you have drove by that field recently, but there are two whole sets of lights hanging by wires. I don't know. They all work. At one point, they all worked.
This is the field over in that picture over there next to on the right there, that field?
No.
The JV football field is
JV football field next
Oh,
to the varsity
at the
field.
school.
Yes.
between the baseball fields and the football field.
So essentially, they're removing the lights. They're getting rid of the lights.
Oh,
I talked to JJ and I said, I want the lights. They are very similar to what we have at North 1 and North 2. The way I looked at it as extra parts, it's a way for us to capitalize on something that's free and to have spare parts and things to, I guess,
Maybe use it on the parts of the park.
to limp our system through another 10, 12 years. That's what we're moving forward with it. So as soon as they get them taken down, we're getting them.
Okay, and that could be something that, possibly could be put at the Lions Park.
I won't ask now. I'll ask
No
later.
ass now.
Well, I just know that on the city side, if we're going to not use anything like a pergola or anything that's over a certain dollar value, we can't just give it away. You have to auction it off or post it. I don't know if the school has to do the same or not. Have you checked in with JJ on that? Or
Well, I don't know. JJ just said they're yours.
okay,
I'm going with that.
I have no
I'm
problem
going
with that. I
that.
just don't want on our end to get in trouble for taking something we're
Okay,
not
that's-
supposed
and
to.
that's fair.
So if it happens to be that the school has to auction or,
And I don't
then
know.
we-
I don't know
so-
how much they cost. If it's under a certain value, I don't know if you have to, but
they all depreciate.
yeah. So that's my only.
They've depreciated to nothing.
Yeah. Okay. That's
So they might be
for
worth
you,
nothing
JJ
to
and
the
Beth to
school.
figure
That's
out.
fine. I'm
Okay,
regardless, we are getting supplies to, get our.
there'd be some lights that would be getting that.
Because there's, unfortunately, there's lenses on our the cans that are missing, which in return, the bulbs don't last because weather gets to them, whatever. The ballasts for the lights themselves are hard to get and they are very expensive. Like they don't make those ones anymore because they're that outdated. At some point, we're going to have to try to switch to LED lighting, which would obviously be more beneficial as far as.
Can't we put some of this onto the street department with all the LED lights that they have?
Yeah, well, no, that's the electric
You
department.
could,
Electric
you could
department?
piggyback with electric. Yeah.
And I have worked with Jared in the electric department. We have discussed working on trying to maybe change things over, but this was an opportunity that I figured I can't pass on.
We can always get rid of them.
Right.
Oh.
So, I guess I
Okay.
just wanted to give you guys a heads up on that. We don't need any motion for that. The next thing is, Johan, you're up, buddy.
Thanks.
I did print off some sheets for you guys to kind of, since
Ooh, it's a big one? Little one.
oh, you want a bigger one?
No, this is good.
Okay.
You
We'll
can take
start
it.
just by taking a moment to bring everybody up to speed why I'm here presenting this. My school has been using the disc golf course here in Casson since it was still over at the Lions Park, which before Shopko came in. We had, I think, a year or two before that happened, and then the
I've got
disc
one of these
golf
too.
course moved over to Lions Park, and I heard some talk at the city council meetings that I attend, that, maybe we should do some different things with Lions Park, maybe put in a soccer field, et cetera, like that, that would then make the current disc golf course need a redesign. I heard that last year, and so I talked to our students about it, said, hey, wouldn't it be great if we could be part of helping to redesign the course, to make it a little more of an advanced course. And then I found out last fall, and I attended the Manorville City Council meetings as well, that Manorville is putting in a beginner's disc golf course on St. Island, down there in the park. So there's really very little need for 2 beginners courses in the area. So we've been dreaming about and thinking about what could we do to help improve the course. When we've gone out there for TV dates, we play around with different possibilities for holes, play in some of the areas that they aren't, throw from some different places. So anyway, we had some idea of what we might like to do. So when I talked to Ben, he said, yeah, we're kind of getting a little more serious about those soccer fields. I thought, well, let's put this in motion at the same time. The goals I set for doing this course was I wanted to make something that would bring people to Casson. Our current course is pretty much for Casson residents. You're not going to have a lot of people come in for the level of course we have. It's what you'd consider a beginner's course. You want to just go out there and throw a frisbee around and hit some chains. It's good for that. To bring in people to Casson and understand that the disc golf community will travel up to an hour away on a regular basis to go play a good course. I'll go down to Stewartville, I've been down to Spring Valley, go to Owatonna, go regularly to Rochester to the Driftless course. If you're going to have a decent course, one that you could play a tournament at, you have to have a little bit more challenge to some of your holes, a little bit more length, and you want to have 18. Very few people are going to come into a town and play a 9-hole course unless it's nearby. So I thought, if we're going to invest a little bit of effort and money, why not make it into something that will attract people to town? So I contacted the Rochester Disc Golf Association. Their president came out and he kind of looked over some of the ideas we had and kicked around some other things with people. And I've come up with a course map. I sent it out to you. We're trying to take advantage of the edges, trying to put a disc golf course in Lions Park while enabling Lions Park to be expanded in its usages. So you'll see that the way I drew it up to begin with, I started over here where the disc golf course was in the former iteration. This is hole 1 here in the old Lions Park where that little bridge is, it goes across. Where you put hole 1 is inconsequential. As long as the course loops, you can stick it anywhere and say, oh, this is 1, and we loop all the way back around the 18. In looking at this, there were some concerns that we wanted to make sure we addressed early on, and this may still need to be some modifications that we make. Number 1 is we don't want to have discs thrown into walking paths, and we don't want to have discs thrown into private property. So this first section of the course, it's somewhat narrow, so it may be actually more conducive to move this first tee a little farther down here so that the discers are going out this way to land just on the south side of the creek. That'll keep almost all, except for the very worst of throws, from going over here into the private property lines. Will there still be a disc or two that land on private property? Yes, just like on any public golf course, you're going to have an occasional stray ball that lands in somebody's yard. But I think we can keep that to a minimum. We then modified our second hole, which is using this area here to include what's called a mando in disc golf. In other words, that is a mandatory marker you have to reach. So instead of throwing from here to here, which would, again, take us across a corner here, there's a lot of space. The first map I sent you, it showed property lines. And I have it on the back here. There's a lot of space there you can go around, but we're going to go around this tree that's already existing, say you again must throw out this way, and then you can throw down this line to keep people off the line. Those 2 holes are actually quite good for disc golf community to start. They have good distance, and the second hole being tucked into the woods makes it a good challenge. The first picturesque hole of the course would be number 3 and number 4, which would take advantage of the brand new retention pond that's there. It's a beautiful water feature. You stand up on the edge of the pond on the northwest side, and you throw out over the pond and a looping course that then comes back in towards Maston Creek. Disc golfers love water features, and since there's a new water feature there, I thought let's take advantage of it. All of this woods in here is currently just in thorns and brush. It can be easily mowed back, easily, if you ever mowed thorns. It can be mowed back with just standard labor to make a nice green, they call it, though it's not really a green, it's more like wood chips, so you put the new basket there. I see some of you are like not disc golfers, so I'm not going to go into all the features of what we're doing. Do know that these are the kinds of things that I'm trying to look at doing. How can we make it picturesque? How can we make it attractive? How can we make it challenging? And how can we make it fit in the property that we have? Next hole goes over the water. This one comes out to pretty much the placements that's there. Our professional disc golfers that I talked to said maybe a better placement would be a little bit farther to the east. This hole drops down into this wooded area. There's a beautiful grotto. If you go walk by there, there's a big giant oak tree in the backs of this thing that if we clear out a section in here, it'll just be a beautiful place to throw into. And it'll actually be a great addition for a walking path, somebody going by. Many disc golf courses in municipalities are used secondarily for people who are walking. They just walk out of the way of disc golfers. And all disc golf courses that I'm aware of, all disc golfers are always watching for walkers. Rochester's free courses, Slatterly and East Park are both right on walking trails. The park at Driftless has a bike path that runs through it, has a walking path that runs through it, and also has a fishing area that's nearby. So disc golfers are used to watching for people. So when I say there's a feature that people can walk along, that's kind of been part of the game in municipalities. We're then going to cross over the creek fire to there. We then get into this area over here that is completely, well, 99% undeveloped. And this is where we come into some of our challenges we may have yet to face as we continue the development of this. And really tonight, I'm really just trying to present how far we've come. This isn't the final proposal yet. I'm just saying this is what's possible. Now let's see what we can actually put together and make into a concrete plan. In this area, we do have some existing paths. What I have drawn out for disc golf placements would take advantage of what is already there. It would require the least amount of additional development of the area, but it incorporates a piece of property right here that is privately owned. The city mows it like twice a year, and the current disc golf course throws over top of it in a park. I think it's meant to come straight out here and over to here, but everybody throws across here to here, and there's been 1,000 discs in this property. So we would have to investigate what is the relationship the city has with the private owner, and can we drop a disc golf basket in here, which would be right on the line of the property, and again would throw over the property as we did, and then the new tee here would be on the line of the property, city properties this way, but would throw out across that it's basically just a brush field fee to this placement here. There is this whole area down here has kind of been buckbrush. How many of you guys have been back that way? Anybody? I know you have, but it's just basically a fallow field that's had the buckbrush grow in it for what, 4 years, 5 years, something like that. If we decide we don't want to mess with this piece of property here, or this just doesn't work out, it's possible to put holes 13 and 14 down in this area, and then wrap back up to here. The course loops up to here, staying away from the playground. We walk to the other side of the playground, come to the far side of the Lions Pavilion, throw out over that retention pond, land back here near the property line, and then throw into these woods, take up this new trail that's a snowmobile trail. Yep. There's some new culverts in there. Just drop a basket in here, and here would be beautiful holes. Everybody like it. And we finish with a nice long 600-foot hole back over to here in hole 1. The nice thing about disc golf courses is they are fairly low maintenance. You don't have a lot of additional mowing around the baskets when the baskets are placed like these are. They're back in tree-covered grottos. They're tucked out of the way. Once you mulch them in with a little bit of wood chips, it's like a once or twice a year maintenance item. Disc golfers who don't throw particularly well tend to keep the weeds down on the edges. And the more players you get, the more that happens. Bear Cave down in Stewartville is an excellent example of that. I did go to industry standards and draw up a proposed budget. And looking at comparable things that we have done, our playgrounds, the newest piece of playground equipment up there, do you remember what the price tag on that was? Just for the equipment itself, not
Just
the
for
install?
the equipment itself was around $60,000.
Right. Playground equipment, very expensive. What I have put together as a cost estimate is actually a high cost estimate. This is pretty much hiring most of the work done, not having the city do much of the work, and certainly not having a lot of volunteers. Materials costs, if we get nice, brand-new baskets, PDGA baskets, the ones we currently have are 30 years old plus, I don't really know. They've been in Casson ever since I remember, and that was a while back. If we install new baskets, we install professional level signs on 6x6 posts so they don't get vandalized, they don't get pulled up as easily as the current ones have. We're really only looking at a total price tag of around $33,000, which isn't a small amount, but neither is it like putting in one piece of park equipment, which is great for a neighborhood, but doesn't really bring anybody else to town. This will bring people to town. This course, I talked to, as I mentioned, when I talked to the PDGA guy over in Rochester, he said he'd love to have tournaments at this kind of course. It would be a great addition to the region's disc golf courses, and that can bring in 100, 200 people at a time for a professional golf or disc golf tournament. And a regular flow of people would come for the uniqueness of this. Maston Creek is actually quite beautiful with just a little bit of work. Some of these holes, standing where the basket would be, you're looking down over a creek that winds around, and you have this wooded area, and I really think we can turn it into a feature of the town rather than a little backwater where, you know, kids go to hide and build lean-tos and teepees and stuff. So anyway, I'll take questions, I guess, at this point. What questions does it bring up for you?
How many times are you crossing Maston Creek?
So actual creek crossings take place on hole 7, that's 1.
Yep.
We cross again on 10. You cross back over in between 12 and 13, but that's really just not even a creek crossing, that's more like walk around where the creek flows.
Okay.
And then we cross again here on 18, coming back over that bridge that's there.
So we're looking for essentially another bridge to make a crossing, correct?
The current layout does not require one.
Okay.
I designed it so that we can use what is existing.
Sure, okay.
If we had availability of putting another one in, we could redesign the course differently.
Sure.
And maybe that's an option if we, part of the problem with using this down here is trying to make the course loop. And coming back from up here at 12 down this way would almost necessitate a second crossing of some kind.
Sure.
But as I said, if we can work out something with that property owner, some usage, something or other, then.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't know the relation between the city and that property owner. And I know me and you had discussed prior to this meeting, I actually do believe one of our baskets is technically on his property.
This one right over here?
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
Wouldn't surprise me.
I don't know that relationship. I don't see me personally doesn't see any issue with crossing his property. I could understand if we have stuff put onto his property. And maybe Ryan, you can, I don't know, give me some better intel on that property owner.
I can talk to Tim. I don't know who owns the property.
I probably used to know, but
It's, what's it say on there?
Oh, it doesn't say on this one. I looked it up on the county.
I had it, I don't.
Yeah, I did too. It's just not coming to mind right away.
Is it the person that owns the Brown Apartments right there next to it?
What's that?
so what's the
This
DNR going to be involvement in this?
DNR would not be involved because we are not altering anything with the creek.
Okay.
As far as I've been told, we would not have to do anything. The only time you have to do anything with the DNR is if you are adding culverts or a bridge,
Bridges.
for instance, since it is a technical waterway.
When I spoke to the city engineer about that, and he said the similar thing to what you're saying. So
Yeah.
long as we're not interfering with the creek. He said, even if you have a little wet area, like right now there's maybe a little wet area in between here that it's been raining a lot, it's a little low. If you want to put a little culvert in there, he said, just put it in, fill it in, and don't tell me, and it'll be fine. Because you're not changing the creek, you're not changing the waterway. It's one of those just do it and don't say anything things, because it isn't a big problem. So a lot of, like, for instance, some of this over right here is a little swampy.
Yep.
And if you just were to put a little 6-inch culvert from one side to the other side of the swampy, you'd be all set.
Drain tile
Or you
type.
could bring in some 1.5 clean, that allows the water to flow through, percolate underneath the surface, and you wouldn't have that issue either.
So there are a couple concerns that I have. One of them being where, let's see, hole 2 ends at, right? So when you travel from hole 2 to hole 3, those are private owned properties between the two.
They are, but not, if you notice the property lines on
I
those
do,
in
yep.
before the creek.
Yep, and
we
I
could
don't.
build a little trail right back behind it.
That would have to be, yep, I know one of those is fenced off, I can't remember if they're both fenced off.
It's
So I
pretty
guess,
clear where their property lines are.
yep, okay, so that, I guess that would be my only concern with that.
Yep.
And then as far as on like a city aspect of it, I am kinda concerned about the pond. I agree, it'd be a great feature to be throwing over. One of those things that I'm not familiar with is if you bring attention to something that's man-made, what's the liability? You know, I understand that we have waterways and there's all sorts of liabilities, and I get that. But something that we have created on the city side of it, being a pond, you know, that pond's gonna hold water all the time. I don't know what the depth of the pond will eventually be. I would have to do research on my end to see what kind of liability we would have with that pond. I know, you know, you go to other communities, you know, some of our ponds are fenced off. Ultimately, I guess, no matter what, you're liable if you're the one that made the pond and you have it fenced off and signed off. I just wanna make sure we're not going down a bad road.
Sure.
You know, I agree. I think it would. I love the fact that you utilize all the quote-unquote wasted space of Lions Park. It would be a fantastic way to utilize the entire park. We got some more work to do as far as on the legal side of it, I guess.
Oh, absolutely, I think you should investigate that. Most of the time when they do put in those retention ponds, they either plan to fence them or they plan them to be on the grade that's considered safe.
Yeah.
You know, so you don't have any drop-offs, that as you come down your bottom, there's a certain slope you have to adhere to.
Yep.
I'm just going from when I built out the Southern Hills, we added 100 and some odd units, and we had to put in the whole retention pond. And we asked those questions, well, what's our liability with this retention pond? You know, down in the middle of the retention pond, it's 8 feet deep, somebody could drown, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it turns out that there's engineering specs that you have to build to that help, that if you build to them, you're some ways insulated from that kind of thing. But I think we should definitely check into it.
Absolutely.
Ask Tim about it, say, hey, let's dot our i's on this, cross our t's. So I'm glad you bring it up.
And then, you know, as far as like on the budget side of it, realistically, I think concrete pads are not gonna happen obviously right away. I think the use of wood chips is a viable option, at least for now. And then as far as, you know, the land improvements, as far as like clear cutting some of those paths, we're gonna have to maybe reach out to see if we can get some volunteer help with that. I know some of it, the city can probably help provide the equipment and do some of that to an extent. We're gonna need some help to make sure we can cut that cost of $33,000 down. And then as far as the baskets, you know, is our course a 9-hole course currently?
Yes.
Yes. So I think we look to increase just another 9 baskets for now. And try to make what we have work until we can, you know, do it in phases or transition to increasing it to a better quality.
I think phased installation is quite possible. I also think it's quite possible that the local disc golf community would be not only willing to work on it, but maybe willing to fundraise to get a more professional course. For instance, if you come to the disc golf community and say, oh, hey, the city's willing to do this part, put in the baskets and do whatever. But if you want concrete pads, because it does change a course, it makes a course from it's an amateur course until it has tee pads. You put wood chips down, that's kind of a halfway, but if it has actual concrete pads, now that's considered a PDGA style course, and it brings a different level of people. And the disc golf community likes it. So if you say to the disc golf community, oh, hey, if you raise this much more money, then we'll put in the concrete pads, we'll go the whole 9 yards. I think you might find there's significant money can be made, or raised, I should say. So yeah, staged and phased installation, great. The only thing I'm adding is see what the disc golf community is willing to do too, because we might be able to get more for the city than what the city has to put in. I don't think the city has to foot this whole bill.
Sure.
I would want to know the cost for just 9 non-PDGA ones versus just getting the 18. Because if you buy 9, and then in 3 years we go, let's turn it into a bigger deal, let's have it be the PDGA approved ones, then we've already spent so much to not have the other 9 updated.
Like kind of like the bundle pack. What is
Yeah,
it more?
like,
Is it more beneficial to buy the 18 up front?
Yeah. Versus buying 9 that we really don't want, but they suit our needs, and the other 9 are already 30 years old, or do we just go ahead and replace them all, and then it's updated and ready, and it's...
And I would think that, I know like when we are working on getting rid of equipment, I don't know if there's any trade-in value, but I know the city is willing to auction off the current equipment if we're gonna buy new, so that could help foot some of that bill. There's gotta be some people that, I've seen tons of people that throw a basket up in their backyard,
Sure.
I think this would be a great thing to bring to joint ventures.
Yep, and that.
Some of those things could be like the actual baskets or the signage.
Yeah. And
I
that
know
might be
there's
something.
course, maybe if we can do this all together with Manorville and buy the signage at the same time, buy the basket at the same time, maybe that's a better rate. We're buying more. I don't know. I don't work for any of these companies, but
Can I ask, as far as for the signage, who are you going through, or as
So
far?
currently, this is the idea phase. I haven't gotten down to specifics.
Okay,
of
so
let's buy from here.
I guess then my question would be, where did you get the cost for the signs?
Yeah, great question. So when I was looking at comparables, I went to national resellers of municipal disc golf equipment, and I looked for their ranges, and then
Sure.
I tried to pick what's the upper 2/3 range, because I don't want the cheap stuff.
Yep.
You put cheap stuff on a disc golf course, and all you have is vandalism.
Yep.
And so then that's where I priced them. So
Okay.
there's discgolfstore.com was one. The PDGA website, pdga.com, was another. Anyway, I just did multiple sites, and then I asked the Rochester guy, who also owns a disc golf store in Michigan and has installed courses in other places, if we were in the right ballpark, and said, yeah, it's about right.
Okay. We do have a lot of local companies, or a couple local companies that could make
National
those
Fleet could
signs.
probably get us a deal.
Castle Laser Graphics, Able Signs. So there could be some cost cut in that, staying local. And that's obviously, once we get to that stage, that's obviously something we would have to bring up with them and see kind of what we could do or what they could do for us. And obviously in that park, you had brought to the attention of vandalism. That is a notorious park for vandalism.
Sure.
Another thing that I see beneficial about having this is that with these holes being on the outskirts of the park, there's going to be a lot more traffic in those hidden areas.
True.
And hoping that mitigates some of the, rowdy behavior, the vandalism. Is it gonna? I don't know. Does anyone else have any questions, concerns on this? I could keep going because I got more.
I like the idea of making it an 18 hole. I like the idea that it's going to bring in people. I know Tyler over at the middle school, he has talked about our discourse for a while. He's part of the group helping with Manorville, so I think it's probably a good time to revisit this and
Maybe partner up.
find ways to improve it. But if there's a way to get joint ventures included, because that could impact, it could help Manorville, it could help Casson.
Yep.
Maybe if we're buying our resources all together, maybe it saves money for everyone. I think that's the purpose of joint ventures. I know Manorville has benefited greatly. The school has benefited greatly. Is it our turn yet?
Between us and the school, it is definitely our turn.
Yeah, I think that might.
Right now, and this goes into the next topic, I don't want to keep going, but I really truly think that this is a good addition for Lions Park, mainly because it's utilizing the entire property that we cannot utilize otherwise. How are we, biggest things are some of the liabilities, obviously that property that we don't own. I don't see any issue with it, but I want to make sure, we're crossing our T's and dotting our I's and making sure everything's kosher. Obviously, there's going to be quite a maintenance side of setting it up, right? Brush clearing and all that jazz. If we can get some volunteered help, that would be super. And then kind of like Ryan said, maybe it's better to purchase all 18 baskets rather than just do 9 at a time, or like you said, partnering with Manorville and seeing if we can go in on something together. Unfortunately, my only concern is, as much as I really truly think that this is a fantastic project, is the concern of other groups, which I'm finding out that I have to deal with. Pickleball is one of them. We have one court
Manorville has a new pickleball court.
that is not operational.
Not yet.
I got an update on that.
Okay.
It'll be operational by the end of the week.
Do you know, maybe this isn't the place for it, but do you know what the holdup was?
The
Yes.
sound barriers.
So they have a staged opening. They're going to open as soon as they've ordered a sign. As soon as the sign is in, they're going to open the course. Our church has sponsored a bucket that will be filled with quiet balls. They can play with quiet balls until they get the sound barriers put up, which they just received the funding for, or actually Friends of Manorville just received a funding grant for. Those will be up probably by the end of summer.
Okay,
But
so-
until then, the pickleball court will be open. Just be open with silent balls only, or quiet balls. They bounce like pickleballs, but they don't ping like pickleballs.
Sure. So that'll at least help mitigate the need for pickleball.
Is that one court or is that two?
It's
Four.
Or
courts.
is it 3 with a warm-up area?
Yeah, I haven't
I
been on
think it was
so
3 with a warm-up area.
That could be.
I think one thing to think about when any group comes to us, and I think of back to when Sarah came with the swing idea.
Yep.
Anytime a group comes to us, they're always about how much can we spend and not how much can they help bring in. I thought Sarah did a really good job of fundraising, bringing in revenue for that park feature at North Park for our ADA families that wanted that support. And I think it's awesome we have that. But we have a lot of groups that come in and just say, we want. Well, we have a very limited budget. And so anytime a group comes in and says, hey, we're willing to do this, or we have this, we want to help. We've heard it from the skate park people a year or two ago. They came in and said, we want to update the skate park. Haven't heard anything since because they didn't raise any funds. I think everyone needs to have a little bit of skin in the game, and if pickleball wants to come and say they want more pickleball courts, well, what are you doing to bring in more? Because they're not cheap, right? Like, this is half the cost of one pickleball court.
Correct.
Right, and this is an 18-hole course versus half a pickleball court.
I think, Johan, obviously you have a good relation with the disc golf community. I think everyone here, unless I'm mistaken, is pretty on board with this project. If there's some things that you can do to reach out to that disc golf community to see if there's any fundraising that they would be willing to take over, or volunteering, I really have no problem in moving forward with this.
Good, yeah.
I love it, so.
It feels a little unique in that I think it really would bring in new people. People would come to Casson. So then the businesses are gonna be interested in that, and maybe the businesses are interested in sponsoring holes or
Signage,
whatever.
yeah.
'Cause, I mean, they're gonna get more traffic.
Yeah.
Probably.
Like at a golf course, you go up to the golf course and hole 5 is sponsored by Bigelow
Yeah.
or whatever.
I mean, that's the biggest thing is I look at it, I mean, disc golf isn't far off from golf. I mean, obviously there's different concepts as far as how you're approaching it, but, you know, the Legion could benefit from it, the Tammys could benefit from it. If they're having tournaments, we could have food trucks down there that are benefiting from it. Obviously, this is looking a lot further out than where we're at right now, but I do see a good benefit to Casson and the community with this.
So, along those lines, if I were to ask for one thing tonight, it would be permission to start clearing some weeds. For instance, on that course, throwing from the sign that's out by the highway down into the woods. I mentioned that grotto with the big tree. There is giant weed patch there, and it's just behind the current hole. We could start building momentum in the disc golf community by taking and having some volunteers go in there, whack all those thorns down, and just clear a patch and say, here would be the basket. Or maybe even just bring in somebody's practice basket and set it there, knowing that you probably have to take it out, otherwise somebody's going to steal it, but whatever. You know, if the disc golf community sees that this is a project that is being seriously considered, and maybe some preparations are being done by people who like, it'll start to build the kind of momentum that would help towards fundraising, I think.
Honestly, I'm not sure what authority I actually truly have in my position.
You'd probably have to go to council, right?
Maybe. Ryan's probably the best judge for that.
I'll ask Tim.
Okay.
I
We have a
personally,
meeting tomorrow.
If I do have any say in it, and obviously we should vote on this, but I have your full support to move forward. The only thing I ask is any brush clearing, if we can make piles so that my crew can come in and remove them.
Oh, you're willing to come in and remove them? That's awesome.
Mainly because we have, with that snowmobile bridge, obviously you know where that is. We've had to do some removals and we've walked down that creek and it's a dammed up nightmare. You know, the next time it's flooded, it's gonna flood, like bad. So anything that we remove, I would like to actually remove from the park and pile up. My crew would be more than happy to, you know, facilitate loading it and getting it out of there. As far as, you know, work to be done or clearing, we're fairly busy, obviously, with this year. But we're happy to help in any way, shape, or form with free time. But I think, obviously, Ryan, you're going to have to talk with council or Tim and see what kind of avenues we have to take.
So I'm going to just throw this out there. So if we get approval to go and do some clearing, are you familiar with the trail mower, walk behind brush hog that, you know, if it can push over a sapling, it'll knock it off?
Yeah, those are nice.
You know, we've got one at the store, it's brand new.
Awesome.
I can donate that, or I can bring our used one back from our shoreline over in Faribault. Then I took the old one and says, here's, because we knocked down a bunch of brush so we could put our boat trailers in a certain area, and every year it grows it up, and so I just decided to leave it out there for the shoreline. I can bring that back, so I can donate, you know, a machine to do, like I said, it'll knock down a 2-inch sapling. If it can push it over, it'll cut it off.
Wow, that would
Just
certainly
gotta have
cut down on
somebody
the
to do
workload.
it. So I'll be willing to, you know, if you want to get in there and do some clearing and it's a self-propelled unit, you know, I can make arrangements to, you know, allow that to be used
Appreciate
by an
that.
adult or something, so.
That's super.
That'll-
That'll make it a whole lot better than being out there with a machete and a little push mower.
And once it gets knocked down, it's, you know, you can walk over the top real easily, and then
like you
fine
said,
tune some stuff.
You know, the more foot traffic you have on it, the more the weeds stay down.
Oh, yeah, once you have the course and people are coming to it, you don't really have to worry about that too much. Bear Cave Park down in Stewartville.
Yep.
Used to be all weeds, and then it got popular. Disc golf got popular around 2000, 2010. You go down there now, there's hardly a weed in between the holes anywhere.
And to be honest with you, I can vouch for that. Years ago, I used to go out there all the time. And you're right, it's nothing but clearing, and there's trails where, you know, your not average disc golfers whip them into the woods, and I was one of them. So I can attest to what you're saying. What kind of motion do we need to make a motion for this?
I think we
it's
wait.
fair that we,
I think we asked him
Okay.
what the protocol is. If we need to, we can always, I don't think there needs to be a motion for anything, because we're not spending any money, we're not moving anything, we're just simply saying, yep,
Ask
go over there.
permission to
start
clear and
clearing
air
over.
it, to help start clearing some
okay.
paths.
Well-
pretty much.
Ryan can be in touch with me, and then I will be in touch with you.
And
Okay?
you'll probably be at the meeting tomorrow, I assume, anyway.
I will be, yeah.
Okay, never mind. I'm out.
So all that, we can ask him tomorrow,
Okay.
if he's here tomorrow. I haven't looked to see if he's on the agenda for his admin report, so I'm assuming he'll be there.
So then something to look forward to like next meeting or maybe the one after is if we're gonna make an ask of the disc golf community to raise some of these funds, we should also make an ask of council what they might be willing to do.
Right.
You know, if we're gonna get serious about making it happen, that's the next step, at least
Yep.
in my mind. What's council willing to do? What would they expect of the disc golf community, and see what we can do?
And I'll be honest with you, and I'm still learning the ins and outs of how the city works and operates. This year is probably not an option as far as funds.
It
Right.
wasn't in the budget to be,
Right,
when we
so I
started
would
the
say,
budget.
when I go to do budget for the 2027 season, that's an option. We can, and which would actually give us some time to actually dial in what is, you know, asked of the city as far as financial help.
Gives you time to
Versus what
fundraise.
we can actually facilitate from a voluntary side.
So yeah, install in 2027, or that would be the goal.
I mean, that would be the goal. Realistically, I mean, if we could get started tomorrow, let's do it. I mean, that's kind of.
But we can, like I
Right.
said, staged and stepped, right?
Yep.
So here's our proposed course, and we have a few practice baskets out there, try it out. and-
Obviously, the first step is
Build them.
let's talk to council. Let's see what's asked, and then we start, right? We'll have to figure out some of those liability issues, the property owning issues, which, you know, are probably kind of minimal because we can kind of adjust things as we go. But if you got an idea where we want to start, let's start as soon as we get the go at, you know.
I think some of the clearing areas, you know, that's on city land and not even adjacent to property or crossing property, you know, I think that's a no-brainer. If we say this is a goal, let's start clearing some stuff. If it doesn't happen,
We got
Haven't lost anything, right?
right, haven't lost anything, right, but, you know, some of the course, some of the holes that do cross things that may be in somewhat of a question, probably have a backup of saying, okay, if this isn't really going to be over the pond or crossing that property, have a backup plan, say, well, this is where we could now change that hole
Yep.
and not change the rest, but I think as long as it's,
And it kind of sounded like you have some alternative plans if things aren't going to necessarily work out for some of them.
Get around disc golfers, they're full of ideas.
Yep. And that's fantastic. I mean, it's a blank slate. You know, it's untouched property as far as a disc golf, you know, course.
Yep.
No, I'm excited to, you know, this is probably one of the bigger projects that we can move forward with that we don't have to invest a lot.
I don't think, yeah, the investment is minimal. And you might be surprised, somebody may say, here's $10,000. Or a group, or you gather, it's like, well, a third of it's paid for, if that's, you know, the feasible dollars, you know. And I say, if you get joint venture, says, well, here's 10 grand, and next thing you know, it's, you just gotta find 10 more or something, but.
Figure out where Manorville's at too, to see if we can piggyback on some of this to
Yeah.
save money for everybody. I think that's not a bad option too.
Okay.
Thanks for
Thanks,
letting
Johan.
me present, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Johan.
Thank you for the work you did on this.
Okay, so the next thing is joint ventures, which I've been really eager to get to since Ryan's been bringing it up. We had a joint ventures meeting a couple weeks back. We purchased a piece of equipment for the ball fields between Cass and Manorville and the schools. It was a $38,000 piece of equipment to drag and maintain ball fields. Realistically, it's going to benefit the school more than anyone, but ultimately it does benefit all entities involved because we can all use that piece of equipment.
It's a drag for the dirt areas of
Yes, it levels out the field, it breaks them down, some of the things that we aren't able to do with the equipment that we have. Which that kind of piggybacks into my next talk is the school superintendent has been attending our joint ventures meetings. It sounds like the school is kind of in disarray as far as funding. She's obviously under a lot of stress with being new to the school system and everything. She had asked for no contributions to be made for this season of 2026.
And typically, all of the joint vendors.
Yep,
have
so-
an annual.
Casson puts in 10,000 a year, the school puts in 10,000 a year, Manorville puts in 5. And they've been doing this every year since
It's probably,
2009.
I was gonna say, it's probably been 15 years, so.
Manorville just spent their 5,000 on a road last night. They literally took the money from, that was gonna be for joint ventures, and they spent it to fix a road. So
Okay.
they're not contributing either this year.
So, that's kind of where I was gonna get at is, that's kind of where there's some priorities, right? We have a Casson Veterans Memorial that we've been working on. $10,000 obviously isn't gonna get us any much further than where we're at. $10,000 might get us a lot further with the disc park. I don't know if I have any real say in where that $10,000 goes. I think ultimately it comes down to Tim's decision. I really, that's kind of new. Regardless, we made a motion at joint ventures to not contribute to that account for the 2026 year.
Casa did too?
All entities.
All entities, okay.
So that actually that left that left the bank account for joint ventures at $20,000 to $30,000 standing after the piece of equipment has been purchased. So I think everyone at joint ventures is going to be cautious about any upcoming projects with us not putting in for that 2026 season, right? I have no problem going to joint ventures with the disc park proposal. I think if we were to move forward with the disc park proposal to joint ventures, that Johan, I would prefer you to be present for that, which obviously I would assume you would love to be.
Sure.
To realistically to go in there with a dollar amount of maybe 5,000 would probably be a better ask than anything more than that.
Because there's still that pool of money that's there.
There is, but like I said, after they, joint ventures just approved the purchase of the drag for $38,000.
Okay.
There's going to be a lot more questions or concerns about spending any more money. But Casson is due. Okay, Casson is due for something out of joint ventures. I have not asked for anything other than equipment that we share with all entities. Manorville put in the ice rink and the basketball court, and there was some donations for that band shelter also. So right now it's kind of between the school and the city of Cass and of who's up next. But like I said, there's going to be people are going to be a little bit more tight about that budget or that dollar amount they're willing to.
Well, and I think you're right. Going in with a $5,000 ask is different than saying, can you pay for half?
Right.
And then you got something, a drag is, I don't want to say it wasn't the right purchase.
So, I kind of want to nip some of this in the butt now. When I started my position, I was under the assumption that joint ventures was a collaboration between Manorville, the school, and Casson to purchase equipment that one entity solely could not purchase or could not convince a council or a committee to buy.
That's how it used to be.
Right?
Okay.
That was my impression.
Okay.
A drag is not something, or even, let's go back, a roller is not something council would have allowed me to purchase. Unless I had planned maybe year 1 of 3 to finance for it or whatever maybe. Where, yes, it was only $12,000, which, I mean, guess in my mind that's a lot of money, but from all 3 entities that's pretty minuscule for what we contribute a year. But then it's turned into, back in the day, Ronnie did Lions Park with the basketball court and the pickleball court. Whatever dollar amount was contributed for that, which is great. It is benefiting all communities, realistically. The Manorville basketball court and the hockey arena does benefit all communities.
Sure, yeah.
But like I said, I was under the impression that when it was started, that it was for equipment.
Equipment not for facilities.
Right.
That's probably
And
changed
now it's-
7 years ago.
Yes.
And now it's changed
I see
to-
that on
Yeah.
the list of assets or whatever.
Yeah, you can see that change. about
And
7
I
years
don't
ago.
want it to turn in, for lack of better terms, I don't want it to turn into a pissing match of who wants what more. And it's kind of gotten to that point, but realistically, the city or the school is up for something, right? Whatever we have for a project. And I'd be willing to go to bat for the disc park. I just think, we gotta come up with a reasonable amount to ask for that's not the whole cost of
A
it.
reasonable amount that you think you can ask for to get.
How much did the Manorville get for the hockey rink?
Oh, between the hockey rink and the basketball court, it was $30,000.
How much, and that's how much they got from joint ventures, or
Yes.
that? Okay, because we put in 10, correct?
Correct.
I missed this. Sorry, I had to go to the bathroom, and they donate 5,
Yes,
so we're already double them.
yes.
Okay. Yeah, I think.
So we have over.
Can you send me the
I'll send
an
you the
invite?
joint ventures.
I'd like to go to the next meeting.
Okay, so we have over 190,000 vested into joint ventures and along with the city of Casson, where City Manorville has 90.
Yeah, I'll talk to Beth because the last 2 superintendents wouldn't let me go and then stay past a certain time because you guys have it like at 7:30 in the morning,
7:30.
and I start work at 7:30 because I'm on that committee. But the last 2 soups wouldn't let me go to it and then have someone else watch my kids at 8.
Okay.
So I'll talk to Beth
I'll
because
get you,
I'd like to attend.
because I would like to put that disc park, excuse me, on the agenda for the next meeting. And Johan, I'll get you the information of when our next meeting is and see if you're available to attend.
See if you can get us in first, so I like to be at the school no later than 8 o'clock.
Okay.
So as long as we're in the 7 to 8 o'clock frame,
Yep.
that's great.
Okay.
I'd be happy.
I'll see what I can do, and we'll go from there. I guess first things first, let's see what happens at council, or what you can get from council
Yep.
information.
Yeah.
And Johan, you can probably share that with me after council tomorrow.
Sure.
Couple things that just crossed my mind is, what's the advantage to keeping money in that account? I mean, why not? Why not spend it? Do we need does that group need a fund in reserve?
I don't know, but I look at it as like sick and vacation time, right? I'm afraid to use it because I don't want to see it go. I just think that's kind of like I think that's most people's mentality is you don't want to see that bank account get drained down to nothing in 1 year, because we weren't donating and we had to spend money on things. I think there's always that concern from all parties. I think realistically, like a $5,000 ask is not much,
Right.
considering.
Not compared to what you've already invested, and got very little from.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, I think, it's doing nobody any good sitting in that.
Correct.
And if everybody else has been doing these projects for $30,000, why not ask for a lot
I mean, $25,000 a year, that takes a lot of, you could use it up every year.
Right.
Almost balance your budget back down to zero every year, so here's the project you gotta do. So I'm not in the joint venture side, but
It's
So-
hard because there are projects that sometimes their wish list includes a new baseball scoreboard that's $100,000 or a football one that has TV on it.
I will say the
So they wanna
baseball,
bank it,
yeah,
build
so the
it.
baseball scoreboard is one of the major topics and has been since I started. And it has not gotten very far yet.
It's not going to.
But I think our ask is a realistic ask. We're not asking for the moon. And maybe I'm shooting $5,000 a little low. Maybe we go, yeah, I don't disagree, but I think I would love to get a little bit more. And Johan, you said, you kind of have that budget estimated high, which is perfect. That's what you always want when you go in to make a proposal. You'd rather have it come in cheaper.
It's high because I'm almost 100% certain we can get a lot of the labor donated.
Yep. I think if we can really dial in where we're at with that, and maybe even what the city would contribute. I know, joint ventures and probably most other things want to see that company that's asking for the money, are they vested in it to some extent? What are they going to provide? So as long as we could give them a dollar amount or what, whether that's the cost of doing the labor, realistically, you're paying my guys to go in there and help clear brush or, load it into trucks and then bring it out to the shop.
I almost need to have a clarity on what joint ventures parameters are again.
I tried getting that last meeting.
They need to revise so all three entities can understand, is it a benefit for, in this case, like the drag is just for ball fields.
Now
It
it's
doesn't benefit the community, but
It'd be a good time to revisit that with a new superintendent, a fairly new mayor in Manorville, a fairly new mayor in Casson.
And,
Yep.
and I brought that to their attention at our last meeting, like I said, which was a couple weeks ago, and basically vented to them that I was on the understanding that this was
For equipment, yep.
collaboration for equipment. And if it's not, that's fine, but I want to know
But
what
we
it
need
is.
clarity. What is this? And I don't want to say it's wrong, but I can see the joint ventures, okay, so all three entities are going to, not donate this year.
Yeah.
We're going to skip a year. Okay, so next, they're going to skip 2027 because something else comes up. And next, there's 3 years that nobody's paying in, so they're, where does skip once, skip twice, shame on me, but does this go away? Because you can bank this $10,000 easily for.
I am fairly nervous about deciding not to put in for the year 2026. Ultimately, it's not one person's decision, but
I battled with that when I was on the Manorville Council.
sure.
There's positives of the joint ventures. I'd be one to sit down and talk with Beth and just see what her mission is on it.
I
have a good
think
working
at the
relationship with her.
point when Beth was there, she had a lot on her plate.
Yeah.
And she wasn't quite on the understanding of what joint ventures was. She saw a fairly large quantity of money in an account when she's struggling to make some ends meet on the school side of it, which I understand, but at the same time, she wasn't under the understanding that this isn't the school's money, this isn't Manorville's money, this isn't Cass's money, this is our group's money.
So whose is it? And
Right.
how do you get to use it?
Taxpayers' money,
Touche.
technically.
Yep.
So we're taking it from the citizens of Casson and Manorville, and the school takes it from the citizens, and then you pool it together but it has changed in the last 10 years from
A little
buying
bit.
it's ebbed and flowed between buying equipment to buying nets for a baseball batting cage to
Buying a batting cage.
buying a batting cage to buying and supporting the Kelly Raymond's basketball court over in Lions Park, which is a great addition. Like, there have been some great things they've purchased with it. Just having a plan with that budget ahead of time would be good with a new superintendent.
Having a plan so people don't feel bad asking for their fair share.
Right.
You know, what's the plan?
Okay.
Oh, and the city, correct me if I'm wrong, the city now has $10,000 in its budget that is unallocated because they're not contributing that which they
Technically,
budgeted.
Or not. Did I miss that
We're-
part?
Yeah, you did. We
So-
are not contributing for the 2026 to joint ventures.
No one is.
No one is.
Not a-
Manaville,
not a-
Casson, or
Okay, so
Us.
it's frozen right now. It's
Correct.
paused.
Correct.
Okay. All right. That's as long as everyone is on the same page. I was gonna say, I'd never went to council, so that's yeah.
If joint ventures would sponsor the baskets and the city would take what they're going to invest in joint ventures and say, we'll put this towards course improvements, I'm pretty sure that the disc golf community could raise $5,000 to $10,000 and we could put the whole course in professional, concrete pads and all.
Sure. Obviously, this is some. I mean,
Just throwing
Tim's
out there.
obviously been out for a while, and he comes back, and I'm sure he's gonna have his plate full right when he gets back. Unfortunately.
Yeah, which budget is that $10,000 in and where can it even go?
Right. So there's some uncertainty with that because I'm not super familiar with if I can even allocate that to the.
No, but they can. You say, well, if we're gonna donate to, joint ventures, well, here's 10 grand, here's a project.
But needless to say, we're
But there's
not
other
in
projects.
the crucial rush to get this completed or to essentially get the answers. When Tim can get back and get acclimated and maybe his plate calms down a little bit, I can actually sit down and talk to him with it, about.
And we can understand more where that 10 grand's sitting.
Yeah.
And when you bring your budget for next year to council, have this in there
Yep.
for 2027 so that we can talk about it when we have our work session.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
We're gonna move on to old business. I'm gonna try to keep this quick. We're getting kind of long here. We'll go through Casson Aquatic Center maintenance updates. We are starting to get the pool open. We drained some water out of the lap pool today and try to get it dried out and cleaned out so that we can start doing the pitting, the resurfacing of the pitting areas. We got to resurface the diving boards and some of the steps on the water slides, or up to the water slides. One other thing is there has been some discrepancy with us and Superior on the operations of our boilers for the pool. They have been running this way for so long. My most senior guy at the pool or at the city he's said for as long as I can remember, this is how it's been done. Well, Superior had, basically the opposite view on how it was run. Just long story short, Newman Pools, who had created and developed and installed the pool, I'm setting up a meet with them to come down and do an overall inspection on the pool maintenance side of it. They'll have every tool we can ever imagine. They have sonar flow detectors to make sure that all of our systems are working properly. They'll go through and make sure that the heaters are working properly or they're getting the right amount of flow to the heaters. Something that I feel like needs to be done with the pool that's getting to that stage.
So they can reset the expectations of this is how it was
Correct.
decided to be run.
It would be just peace of mind for me, I guess, to know do we have a flow sensor that's been going bad and we never knew, or things like that. So I did reach out to them last week. They reached back out to me. Their tech guy is supposed to be reaching back out to me. Obviously, they're not going to come until the pool's open and operational so that they can actually read all those readings. But it would be, I think it's gonna be fairly expensive, but it's gonna be a peace of mind to make sure that, you know, everything is operating the way it should.
Well, I think that's a good way, because Newman, you know, they built it, they did it, and we've been having somebody else trying to maintain it, that's not their stuff.
And they have all the information on it.
Yep.
You know, I called the gentleman and he ended up calling me back. He's like, yeah, I'll pull up your digital file. So they have everything that we.
I think it's a good, get back to the original, say, you guys take a look, because, you know, I'm not saying that, you know, the other meetings hasn't done their job, but, you know, if they're saying we're doing, if they're starting to say we're doing this wrong, it's like, okay, let's talk to the builder on this thing.
And we only know so much. You know, if we turn a valve here, it changes everything. And I don't think people really understand that. If we want to increase the flow to our heater, and we have to turn a valve, it changes all of our readings for everything. And that's what, like,
Just getting back on the same page, the
Yeah,
Superior.
so it would be nice to get a professional's point of view with their equipment to read our system.
Not saying Superior isn't, but
No, but
Superior
they're not specialized in
they didn't build it,
Yeah.
right, yep.
Okay, so I guess that's just really an update.
Okay.
Oh, and then the tot slide. Before we had that fairly large winter storm that we got blessed with, we also had some windstorms. There was some damage. I shouldn't say damage. It essentially took the tot slide and blew it across the pool, kind of. Yeah, tot slide's fine. No cracks, no damages. But it did ruin the pipe for water to come out. We managed to find a tool to remount the PVC going into the concrete, so we do not have to like break out concrete and replace anything. So just kind of there's some minor setbacks, but we're moving forward and everything is going to happen. The next thing is I did have a gal reach out to me. She has a deaf child who also has some special needs. She had asked about flotation devices for her child during normal pool operating hours. I know that that has been a fairly large topic of discussion in the past. I don't know how to approach it. I told her I would talk with the park board, mainly because there was, from what I was told the last time this was a topic, is that there was some liability issues with wearing life jackets.
I think I remember that, you know, does the life jacket properly fit, is it properly put on? If something does happen, who becomes liable? So
I do know that at one point it was talked about how if a child has a life jacket on, that the parent no longer pays attention because they assume that
They assume they're safe.
Have you reached out to any other local pools?
I haven't yet. I figured I would
I
bring
think
this
that's where
up
we
with
start.
you guys.
I think we get some feedback from other pool managers, from other cities that have pools that might be dealing with this. We just put in a new swing for children with special needs. I think it would behoove us to try to find a way to accommodate
Yep.
this in our pool, but also by following the rules and making sure we're not liable.
Yep.
So we have a rule, you can't wear a flotation device, is that right?
Yeah, we have a set time where life jackets are accepted.
Well, so you have a period where you can have them and a period where.
Life jackets and other floaties and stuff.
Yes, so like during your normal open swim, we do not accept that.
Tot time?
Tot time is accepted.
Could that be so
And
during
she
tot
had
time?
talked about it, but her kids are outgrowing tot time.
Maybe it's tot time / because the other side of the pool is completely open.
Right.
Tot time / other family.
I will just reach out to other pools or facilities and see kind of,
just see how they handle it.
or if even that's been a question.
I
I think it's silly that we don't even,
think we try
attempt to do something to help these families out.
And it's reality is what it is. It's, you know, it's the reality of people.
But I also, like you said, Ryan, I want to make sure we're covering ourselves and we're
Yeah.
doing the right thing. As much as, I want to help everyone out, what's realistic?
The balance between when you have JLH there and you have 200 kids in the pool,
Right.
is that going to be a good time to have a student that needs to have that flotation device be in the pool?
Right.
Is it a safety issue versus doing it during tot time and you have more space? No,
Yeah, because I think her concern was she's got 2 other kids that are well off, and they have outgrown tot time.
yeah.
And
Understanding.
it's hard, obviously, for a mom, it's hard to bring one child and have, what do you do with the other 2? They're too old for tot time, or, you know.
Yeah.
So I will try to do my best to do some research and try to figure out what other facilities do, but I think it would be smart for us to try to accommodate if we can.
Yep. Yeah.
Next on our list is lifeguard certification. So thankfully for my maintenance staff, we have pushed out our opening. So lifeguard certification is now taking place Memorial Weekend. Hopefully it works out. I don't know what kind of draw or if it's going to work for most kids. The biggest thing that I have found in the past is there are a lot of tournaments over the weekends, whether it's softball, baseball, track. You know, you got prom, you got Mother's Day, things like that. And I'm hoping that Memorial Weekend is the best weekend for these kids to get certified.
Other people were counting on getting certified then in order to work this summer.
Correct. Yep. And obviously I send out other opportunities for them to get certified at other facilities, which is usually earlier in the year. But this is kind of like that. If you can't go anywhere, you know, our facility is still going to offer it. We do obviously offer, if our staff doesn't fill the slots, we offer it to Dodge Center, whomever would like to be certified. So that's just kind of a new thing. And then our staff meeting is May 30th, which actually I think is working out better from what I've been told, because a lot more of the staff is going to be able to attend it because of,
End of the school years.
yes. So I'm hoping that this kind of system works a little bit better. And like I said, from a staffing or from a maintenance side of it, we are a week and a half later to have to get the pool filled, which is nicer for my guys and nicer for the heat bill for the city. So, let's see. Any questions on that?
No.
Boulevard program, we're full. I think I had 37 boulevard trees to be requested this year. So we did really good. I actually had to turn down a few people because I was going to be over budget. So that's kind of exciting.
With all the new development,
You know,
Do we
I
wanna
would say
start
it's a
looking at-
50-50 split
Okay.
between new and old. I would love to see, you know, actually kind of some of the folks that lived in the new development, they said, well, I'm going to talk to my neighbor and see if they want to get involved. Because there's, you know, some people
One to
don't know
match.
about it, and it kills me because we saturate our ability to promote it. It's newsletters, it's Facebook, it's the website, which obviously it's work, but then there's some people who have no idea. It's like, well, you've had a lot of opportunities to find it.
Word of mouth, talk to the neighbors.
Yep.
it's a program that's been here for a very long time.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's see. Arbor Day is this Friday, so anyone who wants to attend, it's at Lions Park at 10 a.m. I have picked 2 spots on the west side of the pickleball court to plant the 2 trees.
Yeah, those are marked already, aren't they?
Yep, I put markers or lath out. Undecided on the trees yet. We're gonna go pick up, see what Whiting's has tomorrow. We're gonna go pick up the 2 trees tomorrow. Lions did donate $300 for the trees, so I thank them again. They've always been a wonderful supporter in the Arbor Day.
It's supposed to be nice weather Friday. Or?
Yes, Thursday PM rain.
Okay.
So it'll be nice because I've planted in a lot of rainy, cold days now.
So you want the entire middle school there to?
No,
Okay.
because actually I don't know if I'm going to be there.
Speech.
I have two guys that are well and they can do speech.
Okay.
Let's see. Lastly, the KVM update. We're almost done with the Facebook page. The Dodge County Veterans Officer is the one kind of creating our Facebook page and getting everything to link together. Did I speak with you guys about meeting with the Legion about the existing memorial?
That they want to put something
Yeah, they wanted to move it.
ties,
Okay.
Yeah.
But I think maybe I talked about it before I had met with them.
Okay.
So, I guess if I had already talked to you about it, I'll just recap. I was under the impression that they wanted to keep the existing or move the entire existing. Had a meeting with them. They basically just wanted to save something from it.
Oh.
So kind of convinced them to talk about, can we incorporate the old with the new somehow? There's a fairly long walking path up to what would be the new memorial. If we can have little tidbits of the existing memorial or some history on the existing memorial, they were more than happy to have that. So I was kind of happy that they weren't under the impression that we had to save the entire memorial.
Sure.
It's obviously fairly dilapidated and it would be quite hard and extensive and expensive to save. So it was kind of nice to hear that. They have our full backing. They want to help us any way, shape, or form. And then they are going to have, once we set a date of removal or tear down of the existing memorial so we can start the construction of the new, they want to have essentially like a decommissioning memorial
ceremony
gathering.
or something.
Yep, ceremony for that. So once that kind of gets set in place, obviously I'll let everyone know here kind of what that's going to entail. And then kind of something I guess I didn't know about, and it's probably a little bit more on my not paying attention, I guess. Gambling taxes go to, there's a percentage that goes to the parks.
I would wait on that.
Okay.
We collect funds from the 4 entities in town that do charitable gambling: Fishing Club, the hockey program, Dodge County Hockey,
Yep.
the Fire Department's Relief Association, and the Legion. They have to provide a monthly statement of how much they bring in.
Yep.
And
And there's like
the
a
state
small
statute,
percentage.
I don't want to use the word small.
Okay, sorry.
They'll get mad at you. The state statute says we can take 10% of their gross and keep it in-house, but the project has to be something for kids under 21 in the community.
Okay.
It can't be just put aside for just anything. It has to be a set project. But we're still kind of fine-tuning things. We dropped it to 1% fee just for filing fees instead of 3. It's a state statute that's fairly new.
Okay.
A lot more big cities are doing it, and
So this is quite new. As
it
far
is
as what
the
we're-
groups. And I don't know if we've even cashed the checks yet. I don't know if we have, but they're not really happy right now, and I understand why.
Okay.
So I wouldn't
that's
get
fine.
any plans for that yet.
And I guess I didn't have plans for it. It was more or less, I knew that you would be here, and it
Yeah.
was something that you could at least
Yeah,
share a little more information on than what I have.
yeah.
I was just, part of it was I was curious is that something that could be put towards the Veterans Memorial?
Probably not, because it's not for kids. It's not, the money's designed for your youth, and they can start at 21 and under.
And
There's
part
a
I'd be
one-page
curious to see what the
flyer.
rules is, because you can, I guess, go back and say, well, it is technically for the youth because it's a learning experience for the youth with veterans, and I don't know what they all are, and I'm not going to get into it as
Yeah.
far as that. And if it's very new, well, then obviously we're going to hear more about it down the road.
Yeah, I had the PDF. I don't know where I have it, but it's.
I thought it used to be higher than 10%. Wasn't it
the state takes like 30, but cities now can also collect. And the purpose of behind that is you could raise $100,000 in town doing pull tabs, and you could gross 100,000, and you could take 100,000 of it and go to Rochester and donate to a cause in Rochester, even though you did all the fundraising here. The goal is to keep the money in the community that it's fundraised in. It's hard to know how much fundraised money is there when those organizations don't tell the cities. They have to report it to the state. They were supposed to tell the cities, but they weren't, and now the statute allows the city, any city in Minnesota that has charitable gambling allows within their city limits that 10% on the
It just
gross.
seems like the 10% I thought was much higher back in the day, because that's when the softball association, I think we were in pull tabs. When Diggers was Diggers, with Schwenke out there. But that's 30 years
Things
ago.
have changed.
Yeah, it just seems like we had to leave a lot more money to the city, you know, for in-community type stuff, but like I said, that's water under the bridge, but
Okay. Well, I guess obviously that'll get tabled till we get some more information, or it becomes more
that's a
of
possibility. Yeah.
fine-tune.
Well, disc golf is a under 21 age.
Yes, yes, it is.
Well, I just,
Or it could be.
just if that's something that's if that's a possibility that
There's-
I can
where-
utilize towards.
Yeah, where's that fine
It
line?
goes towards anyone youth under 21. Organizations provided to the city does not retain control of these funds, so they don't control it. It can be for scholarship funds, to relieve, to help with homelessness, disabilities, homeless shelters. There's a bunch of different things. To program for education, prevention, and treatment of problem of gambling. There's a whole bunch of different things in
Okay.
here. I'll send you the link, Ben,
Okay.
so you can read it.
I'd be appreciated.
It's just a
I'm
one-pager.
sure it's pretty vague, but
It is.
fine tune it and try to.
And I've brought it up to the council that maybe 10% is a little high, just because we, like the fishing club, it's all run by fundraising. And I understand where they're coming from. My solution was you only take a percent of the money that if you get it donated to you, if you're going to take it to Rochester and give it to like the Ron McDonald House, then 10% of that gets brought back.
Right.
Not money that stays here, money you're going to donate outside of city limits. Maybe the 10% is fair, but I personally don't see a point to take the money from an organization if they're going to keep it within the city limits and it was donated by the people in the city. But the statute's there, we're using it right now, we just haven't spent the money, so it's a work in progress.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a possible opportunity or option.
Could be.
There might be some possibilities.
I sent you the link.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Do we have any correspondence?
Did Maddie Hanson get a hold of you?
Yes.
Okay.
So we are going to move forward. I did just tell her, I said tentatively we will, June 3rd.
Okay, yeah.
We will have a pool party for the middle school classes like we did last year. I just said I have to make sure that staffing is a possibility for that day. They loved it, we enjoyed it.
Kids liked it in their year
So
that way, yeah. Good.
It was an opportunity for us to utilize the pool when it's not getting utilized, so. Other than that, can I get a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everyone.
Yes. Good meeting.
You're welcome.